Hope you hear me. Welcome to our SUNY Plattsburgh Transfer WebEx session. My name is Tanya Deese, and I am a transfer advisor here at SUNY Plattsburgh. And I'll share with you a presentation. It'll take about 45 minutes. I'll go over academics, share a little bit of social life, and then we'll talk about the application process, what we look for on the transfer side, what is needed on the transfer side, and some important dates and deadlines. I'm joined by two current students here today in the presentation. They both will share their transfer experience. They're both transfer students. So to start, I'm just going to have them introduce themselves, share where they're coming from, where they transferred from, and what program they're currently in.
My name is Bryn, and I'm a transfer student from SUNY Albany, and I'm currently a senior in the finance program.
Hello, Chloe. I'm a transfer student in the senior graphic design department here, and I'm a transfer student for Massachusetts College of Art and Design.
Thank you both for being here today. So the nice thing about having Bryn and Zoe here throughout the presentation is that you have an opportunity to ask them questions throughout the presentation. Be asking them questions to share their experiences, but please at any point in time during the presentation to type in your questions. We will be seeing them and hopefully answer all of those questions throughout the presentation. So to get started, I am going to share with you a little bit of SUNY Plattsburgh. To start off, the animation is playing. SUNY Plattsburgh was founded as a normal and training school in 1889. Essentially, we were founded as an education institution. So today our education programs are high attraction for students, and we do have some other high attraction programs that I'll highlight later on in the presentation. But since then, we had one academic class that has now expanded to that houses more than just under 5,400 currently enrolled students here at SUNY Plattsburgh, and we have a 300-acre campus with 36 buildings. Here at SUNY, we have 3 academic schools that offer more than 60 majors and 60 minors for our students to choose from. It's a mid-sized campus, so those of you who are looking to transfer, you're coming from a community college setting, it's going to feel very similar to that experience. So to kind of give you an idea of what you can expect within the classroom, here at SUNY Plattsburgh, we had a 16:1 student to faculty ratio with an average class size of about 22 students per class. I can share my personal experience of being alum from SUNY Plattsburgh that my largest class was about 40 students, and my small class was maybe 10 of more further in my academic program. So to talk with the questions that I'm going to start with Zoe. And what was your largest class that you've had so far at Plattsburgh?
I think when it comes to my largest class, it wasn't even in my major, it was in my general education courses. I think my largest class maybe was 50 people. The English freshman level class, I transferred here my second semester my freshman year, so at that point my class was a little bit bigger. But now being in my major, my classes are all around 20 to 30 people, especially all my 400 level classes. I could have anywhere from 12 to 1.
Yeah.
I had a very similar experience. One of the classes I think I've been part of was about 27 students, and that was a Psychology 101 class. Now I'm in my higher level art classes. I currently have a class and there's 5 of us in it total. It's a very one-on-one experience in that class because it's so high level.
Yeah, I'm coming in depending on how many credits you have coming in and where you're standing. You may have some general education requirements you have to still complete, and those courses might be a larger class size. But then once you're more in your academic program, you're going to find that the class size is a lot smaller. All of our classes are taught by our faculty members. You may have a student assistant within the class helping just assist with proctoring tests or maybe answering some questions, maybe hosting study sessions, but they are not doing any of the core teaching that is all done by our faculty members, in which 97% of our faculty members hold that degree within their field. They're specialized fields, so many of our faculty members are holding a PhD. Women are also up to date within their field, and they're actually actively doing research. Time our students ask us who's in the class, how much knowledge does that professor have about the class that they're teaching and the field that they're teaching in. Can both of you share maybe an experience of working with the faculty members here at SUNY Plattsburgh?
I haven't specifically worked with my faculty members in doing research. However, in an internship I did quite a bit of research that I'm able to put in work today. But with working with my faculty members, especially in the business school, they're very, very adamant about producing as much research as they can. My econometrics professor is literally submitting essays to a journal of finance. My business law and my other finance professors have submitted within the past 3 weeks 2 different articles to the journal of law. So it's a very prevalent topic within our classes. Our professors are constantly conducting or submitting it and sharing it with us to kind of push us in that direction as well. But it's interesting to see and to read about their work in the bigger world outside of the Plattsburgh.
That was great. I definitely have to agree with that. For me, again, being in the art department, being very current in what's going on is very prevalent. So I can speak to all my professors currently this semester are doing some kind of exhibition or something along those lines. My graphic design professor right now, he often asks us to be in his shows. Right now, he has a big show going on in Burlington, and he has asked all of us to submit work, whether we've done it in his class or something else. Big experience, not only with him, but then it gives us access to all of these.
Great example. Lots of opportunities to do research projects and internships as you do. So ultimately, there are many reasons why students choose Plattsburgh and things that they're looking for. Students look for specific things that an institution has to offer. A lot of times it's the small size or how big the campus is. What was the reason why both of you transferred to Plattsburgh?
Well, ultimately, my decision came down to the fact that I am from here. So when I first came here, my thought was I was going to come here and then transfer to school automatically. But what kind of set that apart is that what made SUNY Plattsburgh made me want to be here, and that was especially in school. I found my niche for what I want to do when I grow up, and just the faculty itself and how much time they invest in us to really want to, move forward in our career endeavors is what gave me the inspiration to stay here. And I'm glad I did, because without doing that, I may have not been able to do what I wanted to do, or I'm sure I'll talk about in a little bit about an internship I did in Washington, D.C. last semester, and without have stayed at SUNY Plattsburgh, I don't think I would have ever had those opportunities.
Right?
For me, it's the balance between the small and the big. So big enough campus that I get to meet new people and I still have opportunities. But all classroom, my professors know my name, my peers know my name, and it's that environment that I was looking for. So it's professional and friendly, and I'm able to build personal relationships all at the same time.
Great. And something really important is having your professors be accessible. Both of you have touched on that for being a reason why you essentially transferred to Plattsburgh. Can you speak a little bit more about that, about how accessible your professors are, whether that's through email, going and visiting them?
I can say that for the business school, once again, it's an open door policy with almost every single one of my professors. They give specific office hours on their syllabi, except that we're announcing what their office hours are. They'll say, so it's between Monday and Wednesday at 12 to 1, but you can come in at any time. So, again, most of my professors, they're even in their office till sometimes 10:30 at night. We'll make a point to do that. They go out of way to make sure that you are, getting all your questions answered or any concerns or even just anything. College is a huge transition in life itself. So I have a lot of professors that have an open door policy just to talk about what the next step is, especially being seniors. That's kind of a big reason I'm being a life professor. But they're very helpful as well to literally have their door open.
Here's that actually. Right before I came here, that was one of my professors, and we talked about study cutoff options, internships, and all of these things. And I meet with him regularly. He's also my advisor. And I've yet to have a professor here that wasn't looking to make me succeed in the most I can. So whether it's meeting me before class, after class, They really want you to do the best they can, and they know that you're a busy college student, so they are willing to work around your schedule, which is very helpful.
Especially when you have those late nights. So moving on, we're going to talk about hands-on experience and different ways that you can get hands-on experience here at SUNY Plattsburgh. A lot of times, transfer students will ask me, what does your campus have to offer as far as hands-on experience? And the great thing about Plattsburgh is that we offer opportunities right here on our campus, or being able to take that elsewhere, whether that's in the Plattsburgh community or maybe doing a study abroad or an internship a little bit further away. We have a lot of programs that will have experiential learning built right into the curriculum. A lot of times internships are built right into the curriculum, as well as lab and practical hours. Many of our programs do require a specific number of lab or experience hours before graduation. For example, our hotel, restaurant, and tourism management program that requires students to have 600 hours worth of field experience before they can graduate. Education programs, for example, those students have to have about 120 field experience hours before they can go on to teach. And you can use all those right on our Plattsburgh website if you have concerns about how many numbers, if you want to know how many hours you would have to complete. And we'll also work with you in making sure you have those completed. But as you see on the screen, we do have more than 500 study abroad options. So if you're thinking of studying abroad, here at Plattsburgh, we have just over 30 different programs housed out of SUNY Plattsburgh, but because we're part of the SUNY system, there are actually over 5 you can choose from. If you do choose to go on any other SUNY schools study abroad program, everything that you would be obtaining, so if you're getting any hours or credits, that would all transfer right back to Plattsburgh, and our Global Education Office will help you throughout that process. And then any research opportunities within the program. So turning it over to both of you, what can you speak to any internships, any lab or practical experience hours that you may have needed to complete, maybe study abroad? Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, as I mentioned earlier, this past spring semester, I spent the 4 months in Washington, D.C. I did it down there in a fiscal policy organization. Basically, I got to take everything that I've learned from my past 3 years and literally put it into school application by doing research on our budget, on our healthcare policies, and everything that's going on right now with the changing of administrations. I kind of got a hands-on experience of seeing what was going to happen before what's actually going on right now. So it's pretty cool following everything that's going on and knowing that I was kind of part of it and doing all of that. So it was very easy to do. I worked with my advisor the year before and the semester before, making sure that I was able to graduate on time, had credits from taking a couple classes down in Washington, D.C. that were able to transfer back. However, with the internship experience itself, it really came in handy even this year, coming into my first day of my senior year and taking income, and everything I learned in my internship was able to be put into my studies with that too. So there's a lot of advantages to doing an internship. Whether it's Plattsburgh, I know that there's a bunch of different offices around town that offer many different internship opportunities. For here, however, being from Plattsburgh, I wanted to kind of extend my horizons a bit and step outside of my comfort zone.
I have yet to do a formal internship. This is actually only my second semester here at Plattsburgh. In the classroom, just in our major, we do majority of our projects are real life situations. So in our graphic design classes, they outside businesses and companies and things, and we design posters and logos for them in the real world. We are designing a packaging for a Christmas box, so we had to do everything from make a brand, the packaging, and then we have to formally present it at the end of the semester. So it's a real experience. I'm also to another meeting today about studying abroad this summer, so that's a hand-on experience I'm very excited about. I'm going to go to Ireland and work with some artists over there. So I'm going to spend the summer learning how to print make, which I've never done.
That's awesome. Thanks for both of you have shared how you've gotten hands-on experience right here on our campus through the facilities that we have to offer, and then also off our campus with an internship that you've done. So that's great. Here at Plattsburgh, we have some newly featured facilities that we have put a lot of time into and creating unique spaces for students to do different research projects or get hands-on experience. We have Science Complex, the $37 million renovation and addition project that we have recently completed. Houses new space within the Pinsid. We have a new communication suite, so anyone who's interested in being a part of our Plattsburgh State Division or our newspaper, student newspaper, you can utilize that space. So lots of unique areas on our campus to get unique hands-on experience. So moving on about who transfers to Plattsburgh. So as you see here on the screen, that once it populates, this past year we took in 733 transfer students, and that's pretty, that number is pretty accurate for how many transfer students we take each year. So the great thing about that is that in that number, those transfer students are quite diverse in itself. Transfer students here at SUNY Plattsburgh can be traditional, so someone who has graduated right from high school, maybe gone to community college and is transferring right into SUNY Plattsburgh after their associates. We have students who have taken some time off of school, maybe it's a semester or a year or 10 years. We have students who go to all different sorts of institutions before they come to Plattsburgh, students who may be in the military, students with families. So the transfer population is quite diverse in itself. Here at Plattsburgh, we do have a main campus right in Plattsburgh, New York. And as you see on screen, 87% of our transfer students do come to our main campus. We do have a branch campus where 13% of our transfer students do go to. And that branch campus is in Queensbury, New York at the Adirondack Community College there. At that institution, we do have 4 completion programs, an RN to BS program, a psychology program, criminal justice, and business administration. And again, those are completion programs at the branch campus. Main campus, we have more than 50 majors and 2 minors for our students to choose from. So with that, that the student transfer is quite diverse. Can you maybe, both of you, share your transfer process and how that was essentially coming to Plattsburgh and how maybe how you felt as a transfer student coming to Plattsburgh?
So I transferred in the middle of the year during the spring semester, so obviously it was at a time where everyone had already had a semester here, everyone had made their friends already, and I was kind of transferring into that, which seemed like a kind of scary, intimidating thing. However, on the first day of class, whether you're a transfer student or just a student that's been here already, everyone's in the same boat. It's first day of class, no one really knows each other within the class, so I felt as if I could have acted like I was there for 4 years and it would have been fine. But the transfer experience itself, I transferred and I lived in the dorms and I was surrounded by great and really supportive girls that kind of helped open my eyes to, you know, the community of Plattsburgh, and I had other portals to get through them and meet other people, and again, within the first couple of weeks, it didn't really feel like you're a transfer student. I don't really feel like it. You're immersed into the community of SUNY Plattsburgh quite quickly, and it's a very easy thing to do. All the different things we have offered here, so easy and fun.
I just for me, it was a very similar experience. This is the second time through, so I'm at my 3rd school, so I was a little risk. Go work out the best, and it gratefully it did. The community, like professionally, your professors, the faculty, and all that are welcoming, friendly, and really want to make you succeed. And then people here are nice. I know that might sound a little cheesy, but students are very excited to be here, and they're very excited for what they're learning, which makes it very easy to engage, and people know you, they want to know your story and see your perspective.
Yeah, that's a great into sometimes transfer students, they don't live on campus or might find it a little bit more difficult to evolve, but both of you mentioned different things that you're a part of. So what is one advice that you would give for transfer students who are thinking about coming to Plattsburgh to get involved? Sometimes the transfers can be like, I'm not quite sure how to take that in, and now you, Bryn, had talked about coming in the spring semester. So how did you get yourself involved?
Well, what's great about the different clubs and organizations that they offer at Plattsburgh, a lot of them are offered right within your major. So if you're too maybe nervous to step outside of that and do something like Sea Club or a couple of the other things we offer, within your major, there's usually a program or a club that's formulated for you. So I joined the Accounting and Finance Association, and obviously it was comprised of all accounting and finance students. But I met quite a few good friends in that club itself, and with that program or with that club, I traveled to Boston and New York City and got to meet alumni from the business school and did a lot of great networking opportunities, got a bunch of business cards. I'm in contact with Al about getting a job next week. So that was a really great way, not just for me to reach out socially to people, but also to reach out and kind of get my head start of what I'm going to do next year. But again, given that you have a club within your major, it kind of gives you the confidence to step by that and try something else. Set on a couple different boards or different meetings with professors or like, so in a minute, doing things like club and all that.
My biggest piece of advice, having done this more than one time, would be to definitely get over that hurdle. So there's a little bit of nervousness and all of that, meeting all of these new people. So whether going to a club meeting for your major where you might know some faces, or talking to kids in your class, or myself personally, I really got engaged with like our clubs and organizations here on campus. So just introducing yourself, telling them I'm a transfer student. People are very receptive, so you're going to make friends.
Yeah, we have over 100 different clubs and organizations for students to get involved in. So if there's something that we aren't affiliated with, or there's not a club, and you start something, you most certainly could do so through our student association, definitely, for sure. So to narrow your focus a little bit more to on our campus and talk a little bit about the residence halls, here at SUNY Plattsburgh, we do offer housing for our transfer students. The process is very similar to the freshman process. We do have 12 residence halls in total. 2 are devoted to strictly just freshmen, and then 2 are devoted to upperclassmen. So our transfer students have 8 residence halls to choose from. All of them come with free cable, internet, telephone. To get into the buildings, it's an access. All the buildings, those hall buildings are locked 24/7. We do offer high-rise, low-rise style buildings, suite and corridor style. We're actually, something we're really excited about here at Plattsburgh is we're right in the middle of a renovation project with our residence halls. We actually take one down each year and completely redo it. And we create these really unique spaces that students are asking for. We're listening to them and trying to meet their needs within those spaces. For example, we do have a satellite gym. It's a smaller gym in the bottom of one of our gyms, or one of our residence halls, and then we do have a soundproof room for students who are in band, or maybe you play the instrument. You can go, maybe you want to sing at 3 a.m., you can go in there and sing, but lots of unique spaces within those buildings. Talking about living on campus, I know both of you transitioned from living on campus to living off campus. Can you talk about what it was like for you being a transfer student and living on campus?
Sure. So I chose to live in the dorm when I first transferred here, and I lived in a suite. So there was me and 7 other girls. What I really liked about the suite is that we had our own bathroom, so I was only sharing the bathroom with 8 or 7 other people opposed to the entire floor, which was nice. Within that suite, we also had our own little living area, and on the floors of the suite, there's a bigger living area and a smaller kitchen where you can still get groceries and cook and, have dinner on your whole floor or your whole suite, outside, whatever. But the suite itself, because there were so many people. I had my roommate, of course, that she and I got along great, but it was nice to also have 6 girls to connect with. It was an easy way to meet a lot of people at one time. And again, living on a suite floor itself, having that kind of various space, lots of people are always there, and it's a good way to meet other people from other rooms and other floors as well. So it was a good transition to start to meet people, and then what's great about Spring is having this small as the campus, you do see those people walk around and make connections to there and see some of them and whatnot. So it's a great way to start meeting people.
I would recommend Spring. Definitely live on campus. For me, it was definitely a way to like put myself in the community meet people in my dorm. I got to kind of learn about what makes Plattsburgh what it is, everything from like working with my RD to eating with people on campus. Something I didn't know about, but I did make a lot of friends going to dinner, going to breakfast, and doing those things because I was on campus.
Now, if you live off campus now, do you still feel like you are part of the Plattsburgh community? You live off campus?
Definitely. So a lot of the college housing itself is on the main streets of Plattsburgh, which is directly across the street from campus. Where I live, I'm literally directly across the street from one of the residence halls, so it feels as if I'm still on campus. What's nice is just basically you have your own space and kind of the freedom to do whatever you want. But what's nice about a lot of the college housing that's rented by landlords within Plattsburgh is that it's still very close to campus. I barely ever use my car, and with all college housing still being so clear, it's still like you're in the community where Plattsburgh State students are constantly walking by your house every 5 minutes. It's still always busy on the streets, and it still feels like you're on campus with all the students still surrounding you.
I think the of Platts probably my favorite part of it. I actually live a few minutes down from her.
Exactly. Neighbors.
I've lived since I graduated high school in 3 different locations. I have to say, Pittsburgh is the friendliest and the most welcoming that I've been in so far. I do live off campus, but I ride my bike or I walk, and often I'm not alone. So someone else will be walking by that I know that I get to walk to campus with. I'm all involved here on campus, so I probably still spend the majority of my time here on campus. I do still occasionally eat in the dining hall. I work here, spend probably 85% of my time.
And both of you touched on something really important that transfer students typically look for is accessibility. Whether that is getting, going to different places off campus and on campus. So I know you talked about being able to walk in different areas, and our campus is an open campus, so we don't have a border gate that separates us from the Plattsburgh community. So a mile from our campus, you can be down in our residence or our Histotown area, which has a lot of mom and pop shops down by the water, Lake Champlain, and then a mile in the other direction can actually take you to our more commercial uptown area. And we do have a student shuttle that takes students around. Have either of you used the shuttle at all to town?
No, but I know it's always packed when I see it.
Yeah, it runs every 15 minutes, and it goes to more of our commercial area, like it goes to a grocery store and it goes to Walmart. So if you were around campus and needed to use that, about riding your bike, so.
I'm still riding my bike, even though it's getting a little cold.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you both of you for sharing those. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some requirements, some scholarship information, kind of what we look for into our transfer students. So you see there on the screen the 2.6 to 3.4 college GPA. This is the middle 50% of our transfer students are falling within this range. This is their college GPA. When you apply to SUNY Plattsburgh, you can apply through the SUNY application or the common application. We do not prefer one or the other. They both have the same $50 application fee. You submit a letter of recommendation and a personal essay. Many of our programs, that is a recommended rather than required items that you have to submit. And then we need a high school transcript and SAT scores if you have less than 24 credit hours completed post high school graduation. If you do have more than 24 credits, you will just need official transcripts from any institution that you have previously been to. The requirements for applying to SUNY Plattsburgh. So could both of you share with us your process of that application process and how it was for you, maybe working in your office, and your transfer advisor?
Sure. So I had already previously applied to SUNY Plattsburgh in my senior college, so I'm not sure if that made it a bit easier. However, in terms of when I applied, I was a little late. I decided quite late in the semester that I wanted to transfer back. So what felt like it was going to be a situation ended up not being as bad. Once I decided just to go right into the School of Business and Economics, I was hooked up and emailing with professors to talk about the types of classes I was interested in taking, and he was able to help me have an open communication with the registrar's office in order to get into anything that I could have gotten into, even at with such short time being allotted for me to get into those classes. And I was still able to transition really nicely into the semester and had great classes. I wasn't taking anything that was unnecessary. It was all something that would count towards my major and my overall SUNY-Plattsburgh GPA.
I think here is pretty seamless for me. The office is very transparent with what you need, and they're very helpful with the questions. Yes, you might have a list of things, but for me, I like to double check that things there, and sometimes I don't know what it really means. So very accessible. They're not trying to jump through hoops for you, to be honest, and they're going to be honest with you back. Since I got accepted here, I got set up with an advisor, and that advisor met with me before I even was a full-time student here. So I took the class in the winter term, and she met with me then to talk about what my plan was going to be. So transferring very nice, and then after I got accepted, the process from going as an accepted student to an enrolled student was very seamless.
Thank you both for sharing that. So we're going to get into some dates and deadlines. The screen is going to separate fall requirement or recommended dates and then spring recommended dates. So those of you who are interested in coming in this spring, and you may have already applied, and if those of you who are thinking about the spring and have not applied, you still have time. You can apply. You see on the screen that both fall and spring have a recommended application date. That's just so that if you make that date, you have optimal time to get any additional information that we may be requesting. We're rolling admission, so we take applications up until the point we have no more seats to fill and classes start. Do know that we do have some programs that are high action programs, maybe more competitive, do have a cap number of seats to get into those programs, are listed on our Plattsburgh website, so I encourage you to take a look there if you are interested in one of those more competitive programs. For those of you interested in coming for fall 2017, you can see that the recommended application date is March 1st. Both applying for spring and fall is available, again, through the SUNY application or a common application. Once you apply, you want to think about filling out that FAFSA. Again, you can see the recommended dates for completion of those for fall and spring. For fall, December 15th. It is November 1st. You would do that right through the FAFSA website and just make sure you put Plattsburgh's codes in. If you do have questions regarding the FAFSA and filling that out, they did have some date changes and some new opportunities to use prior tax information. You can always reach out to our financial aid office here at SUNY Plattsburgh. And then we do have a deposit deadline. These deadlines are hard and fast. We encourage that once you get your acceptance, you do claim your seat in your program that you've been accepted to if you know that Plattsburgh is where you want to go. For the fall, the deposit deadline is May 1st, and for the spring, it is December 1st. I'm going to here and talk about transferring credits. So for our transfer students, one of the big questions is, are my credits going to transfer? How many do you take? What is going to transfer? So on the screen there you can see that if you've attended a two-year institution, we will take up to 67 credits in total. If you attended a four-year institution, we would take up to 84 credits in total. We do take advanced credit from high school, so if you've earned any credit, maybe you took some classes through a community college, or maybe you have some AP classes that you've earned credit through, we will take those, as well as military credit. The JST credit, we will take that as well. Do that if you are completing an associate's degree and you're completing the SUNY Eds, that you will have completed the Plattsburgh Gen Eds as well, with the exception of a Global Issues course. You would have to take that at Plattsburgh. So could both of you share the process of how about your credits? And that was something that you were wondering, how many credits you're going to, that Plattsburgh would take, and just that process in general.
So since I was transferring from a SUNY school, my process was actually relatively easy. All my credits transferred perfectly into my general education requirements, and I had a couple from high school that had transferred over, and also just being in the city system, it was easy enough to compare the two classes and cover whatever it needed to transfer over as. So that was quite an easy process for me.
I've gone to a private school, I've gone to an out-of-state public school, and now I'm an in-state student here. My credits and all of that are very different when I came here. And for me, again, like the transparency was the easiest. Someone sat down with me and explained all of it. Explained why some credits don't transfer and why the rest of them do, and what things counted for, why they counted for it. So not all of mine did transfer because I had 2.5 years already. But the reason transferred and why they didn't makes me feel that I've gotten everything that I could. I definitely want you to move forward as fast as you can. They're not trying to hold you back in any way. So if they can make something work, they're going to try to do that for you.
You can always reach out to our admissions office and speak to a transfer advisor if you have questions or wondering what credits are going to transfer, how many would transfer. I would also encourage anyone who does have questions about credits and what's going to transfer is we do have a course equivalency table right on our Plattsburgh website. Under the transfer link, you can go right on there and actually see, you select the institution that you may currently be at or have attended and see all the courses that are offered and how they may transfer to Plattsburgh. But again, always feel free to reach out to our admissions office. Our transfer advisors here are here to help you throughout that process. And if you have any questions about how many credits will transfer and what that process may look like. Once applied to SUNY Plattsburgh and we have your transcripts, we will give you an estimated number of how many credits are going to transfer. If you've been accepted to a program, once you have been accepted, claim your seat by paying your $250 deposit, then you'll get a credit number of how many credits are actually going to transfer to Plattsburgh. And again, we are here to help you make sure you stay on track and graduate in the appropriate time. So moving forward for registration. So once you pay your deposit, you know how many credits are transferring, it's selecting those courses. For those of you interested in coming for this spring semester or transferring for any spring, do know that we do not have an on-campus orientation. What happens is you will receive information about care of the department that you have been accepted to. They will reach out to you and help you throughout that registration process. You'll obtain a PIN and they'll help you select the right courses and how to do so. You'll obtain all that information. And all that information is located on our Plattsburgh website as well for reference for you. Those of you who are thinking about coming for the fall, we do have 2 fall orientation dates, one in June and one in July. During that time, you'll meet with faculty, meet with students who are coming in. You can register for your classes. You'll have your schedule set. Any placement exams that you may need to take will be taken during that time. Can both of you share that process? Did the other of you attend an orientation? Did you work with the faculty at all, getting your courses scheduled? How was that process for you?
In terms of an orientation, I did not attend one. However, I would suggest to attend an orientation because I kind of took it more as, I'm here, I don't need to see what there is to offer. I know everything, but that is the absolute truth. Because though the SUNY Plattsburgh community is very immersed within the city of Plattsburgh itself, the school itself is kind of its own separate entity. Where, like when I'm on campus, I'm at school. When I'm at home, I'm at home. So to deciding that, I chose that as my ultimate. But at orientation, it's nice because it gives you an opportunity to meet with your department chair as well as a couple other academic advisors. You get a tour of the campus, which is definitely beneficial, and you're able to see the Plattsburgh campus itself, not outside, but from the inside out. So, to me, registering for my courses is still an easy process. I had fully open communication, like I mentioned earlier, with my advisor and the department chair, which is my advisor. And registrar's office, admissions, everyone was very helpful in terms of making sure I was getting into classes that were beneficial for me and classes that I needed to have for my major. So the process itself, even without attending orientation, they make it very easy for you. Again, I totally suggest attending the orientation just to really kind of get a head start on seeing what you're, getting immersed into, and just having that head start meeting with other transfer students, your advisor, your other professors, and just the Plattsburgh community itself.
For in the spring as well, so I did not attend an orientation, but I'm definitely in communication with people already. I had been in contact with my advisor and with other people on campus. I'm from an hour away from here, so I chose to physically come to campus, mainly because I would look at it at the same time. And I sat down in my advisor's office, and she worked with me one-on-one right there, even before the semester started, and I think I was a little early. She was very helpful. I would advise going to an orientation. I wish I had gone to but it was a very easy process, and I got into everything, and they explained all the stuff that I didn't.
Yeah. And those of you who may be coming in the spring and there's not that orientation available, or if you are coming to the fall and you may not be able to attend an orientation, we do have virtual tours on site. Go on, you can take a virtual tour, see everywhere on campus. It gives you some information about that building. You can see what the building looks like, and then an overall map of the campus. So moving forward, would either of you give one piece of advice for those of you who are listening in who might be thinking about coming to Plattsburgh, or maybe you've already applied to Plattsburgh, and just one piece of advice that you'd give for a transfer student?
If you are applying to Plattsburgh and trying to choose between Plattsburgh and another school, what really sets Plattsburgh apart from even other schools around the area is that the students here, like Zoe had mentioned earlier, everyone really likes being here. And that's a big thing that previous school, a lot of the students around me didn't like where they were. And believe it or not, it's a huge part of what actually kind of lifts your mood into, liking the campus and the environment around you. So I think when it comes to Plattsburgh itself, a lot of people think it's up in the middle. No, we grew up here. However, we're an hour from Montreal, we're an hour from Burlington. It itself is becoming a very up-and-coming place with a lot to do. We are right on Lake Champlain. We're in one of the most beautiful areas, I think, of New York. So it really sets us apart as a community in the school is that very different from the other surrounding areas. And again, just the people that here that love it so much, it's really nice to be surrounded by all the different people that have goals to be so successful in a bunch of different fields. It's something that I'm really not interested into, but it's nice having friends that are. And it's nice to kind of, go and myself be so interested in what I want to do. And again, like I said earlier, I don't know if I would have found what I want to do if I had not come here. So I'm very grateful to make the decision I did.
I think what you said is very accurate. So I would advise anyone to come to campus if they can, or to do as many virtual tours as you can, because the reason I'm successful here and I really like it is that community, that people are driven and people really enjoy it here. So I think when you come to campus, you get kind of a feel of that. You get to see students doing what they're doing and laughing, talking with each other, and being stressed out because they're so excited about school. It's hard to see from afar. So transferring to any school, I would definitely try to go to everyone that you possibly can.
Great, those are ways. So we encourage you to stay connected with us. We are on all different forms of social media. You can see what both these two ladies are doing in their programs. You can see what events are happening or going to happen on our campus. You can kind of get that unique perspective of what our campus is like, and you can try to get the truth on social media. And have a general hub, which is #PlattsLife. There you can see that's used by our whole campus community, alumni, current faculty and staff, current students. So definitely check that out. Take a look and see what's going on. I want to mention that, as you see on the screen, we do have a Thursday transfer session coming up, December 15th. It's going to be taking place in our admissions lobby area, and then again, there will be a tour after. So if you are thinking about coming up to Plattsburgh, you can register for that event. We also post all of our upcoming events, Plattsburgh website. Just go onto the admissions tab and visit and wander on there, and you can register for any of those events right on our website. For those of you who are looking for all the information that I've shared with you today, I know it's a lot, and both these two young ladies shared. information with you as well. It can all be on our Plattsburgh website. If you go to the transfer tab, you can see requirements, dates and deadlines, the application process, and what to expect next throughout the process of applying to SUNY Plattsburgh. So thank you for joining us and tuning in, and thank both of you for joining us and answering all of our questions. Wonderful evening.